Hello everyone, this is MStream, Fast Anomaly Detection in Multi-Aspect Streams, and this is joint work with Arjit, Pan, Ritesh and Brian. So let's get started. This is the GitHub repository. The motivation for this work is intrusion detection and where there's like a flooding of a targeted machine or resource with superfluous requests in an attempt to overload the systems. So suppose these are all normal users which are interacting or communicating with each other, and suddenly malicious entities they come and they perform a DDoS kind of attack. So this is the thing which you want to detect with this work. The roadmap of the presentation is that we'll first formally describe the problem, then we'll go over the algorithm and the related work. And finally, we'll discuss the experiments and how we've taken this further. The problem is that you have an input of a record stream R, and each record in the stream has D dimensions or features. The output is an anomaly score for each record. The contributions for MStream were that we could detect multi-aspect group anomalies, and it is a streaming approach. That means we could perform the operations within constant memory and update time. Also, we could capture the correlation between different features. So I'll discuss these gradually throughout the presentation. So this is just an example of these input we have, and so you have like different dimensions: time, source, IP, destination, IP, packet size, and then it's a mix of categorical and numeric attributes. For example, IP addresses are categorical features, packet size is real valued, so on. Also, you see, so the anomaly which is there is a group kind of anomaly within a short span of time between time 4 and 5, and you see like there's a huge increase in the packet size. So this is the group kind of anomaly which you want to detect in a streaming manner. So the algorithm, so MIDAS, this is just like some background. MStream was actually built on top of MIDAS. MIDAS used Countman sketches and chi-square test. So if you don't know about Countman sketch, you should definitely go ahead and see that, because I think it's like really important data structure in streaming algorithms. And what it does is it just hashes a value to like one of these one of these B buckets, and for each hash function it does the same thing. And what Countman sketch actually does along with that is it gives a very nice theoretical guarantee. So it says like with, so this is an approximate count which is retrieved from the Countman sketch, and this is the actual count. So suppose A is just like any count. So okay, A is like it's actually used in MIDAS as the current number of edges between nodes U and V. So you can just assume it to be any particular count. This is the actual count, this is the approximate estimated count by the data structure. So it says with up to mu amount of error, like with probability at least 1 minus epsilon, we'll have maximum up to mu amount of error. For example, with say 99% probability, we'll have only up to 0.5% error. So theoretical guarantees like this can be achievable using this data structure and setting the corresponding parameters of the number of hash functions and the number of buckets. MIDAS uses two such data structures, S and A. So it has UV edges up to time t and the current edges at this point of time. So we retrieve like S hat and A hat, approximate total count and the current count. And using this, there's a score which is defined in the MIDAS paper. It is A hat minus S hat upon t. So this is the observed value. This is the expected value. So total divided by total time is the mean or the expected value, and this is like a score is proportional to the difference between these two. So we kind of extend this in multiple dimensions because MIDAS was just using like it was performing anomaly detection of just edges, which were two-dimensional based records. So we extended it to multiple dimensions, and so then there are like additional challenges of how your attributes are, whether they can be real valued, categorical, and what are the correlation between different features. And again, you want constant operations with respect to your dimensionality as well. So just like a brief overview of the algorithm. So suppose this is like each record has both real valued as well as categorical features. Then we have a dimensionality reduction module. This is done to achieve correlation between different features. So you can use PCA, information bottleneck, like autoencoder. This is like extendable to different kind of dimensionality reduction modules. And after that, once we get the lower dimension record, we perform two kind of different hashes. Record hash, which is an LSH based hash on the entire record, and feature hash, which is done on an individual feature. So it is done for both the categorical as well as the real valued features. And this is how we hash, and finally we calculate the anomaly score. So feature hash, we take each feature of the individual record, and like this is after the dimensional reduction is done, and then we basically map it into one of the B buckets. So like it can have two cases. One is whether it is categorical, then we directly use a linear hash. If it is real valued, we log transform it and then like do a streaming min max, and finally we output the bucket. For the entire record, like this is the more interesting part where we do a record hash for the entire record. So we basically have this entire record and we want to give it like a bucket number from out of the B buckets. This is done for each hash function. So we divide this record into two parts, the categorical and the numeric part. We hash both of them separately. So the categorical part is done in a similar fashion as the previous part, where we just do like a linear combination of linear hash functions. And for the numeric or the real valued part, we basically take a dot product with a random vector. So this is like to set each bit, and this is done like k times as the number of bits we want to set, and then we finally take this bucket. So we do it for like k times, which, and this k relation is given so that the final bucket lies within the B bucket. So that is there. Finally, the entire like algorithm, we have a stream of records over the time, and we give out an anomaly score for each record. So we initialize the data structures, and then as and when a new record is coming, you basically for each feature you get a bucket ID from the feature hash, and you update these counts, and then you get a bucket for the entire record. And so then you query these counts so to get the approximate counts, and finally this is the anomaly score which we derive. It's kind of like similar to Midas in two dimensions. So if you just have two dimensions, we just get this, but we have like a factor where we have it for all the other records as well. So this is for each feature, and this is for the entire record. So incorporating correlation between the different features. So our motivation for combining PCA, information bottleneck, and autoencoder approaches was twofold. One, the lower dimensional representations incorporate the correlation between different attributes. Second, like reduction in the dimensions would result in a faster processing for the record. So okay, so basically PCA, information bottleneck, and autoencoder are the three approaches. PCA is chosen because it requires just one parameter to tune. So it's like it can use an off-the-shelf algorithm for dimensionality reduction. And information bottleneck, for that, like it's slightly more complicated, no need to go to the details. I'll slightly discuss autoencoder instead of that. But information bottleneck, the implementation which we used was based on the neural network approach for a non-linear information bottleneck. So the details are in the paper. An autoencoder is a neural network based approach for dimensionality reduction. So it consists of an encoder and a decoder. The encoder will compress the input into a lower dimensional space, and the decoder will reconstruct that input from the lower dimensional reduction. So our experimental results in section 5, they show that even with a simple 3-layered autoencoder, the M-stream autoencoder part actually outperforms both PCA and information bottleneck. This is the time and memory complexity. So where W is the number of hash functions, and we hash each of those value or the record to like one of the B buckets, and there are D dimensions or features in total. Space complexity is just saving this data structure, which is order WBD, and the time complexity is order WD, where we have to like hash it W times for each hash function, and D is the number of dimensions, because we for the feature hash we'll be doing it individually for each feature as well. So the related work, this is just like a brief description about the related work. So elliptic, envelope, local outlier factor, isolation forest are very popular scikit-learn algorithms, and STA, master, STensor, they're slightly like more advanced, and they can do like streaming kind of anomaly detection. Random cut forest and Densalert are like the most recent ones, and random cut forest is being used by Amazon. Densalert was like paper by CMU, and both of them have been quite popular in streaming anomaly detection. So Densalert was the only one which could partially find group anomalies. Random cut forest was the only one which, like among these two, which could, among random cut forest and Densalert, which could actually work with real value features, and some of them were constant memory and update time, but MStream kind of has all the attributes. Experiments. So we use four datasets: KDD Cup, DOS, UNSW, DDoS, and like these are all the records. So we have up to 8 million records and up to 83 features with different anomaly percentages. So this is like just to have a wide spectrum of datasets. So the AUCs, we have like we were comparing primarily with the AUC metric, and we kind of outperform all the baselines on all the datasets, and MStream AE kind of performs the best. The running times, so like usually all the MStream variants, MStream and its variants, so this MStream is without the dimensionality reduction, and these are with the dimensionality reduction. So it actually is up to at least 2 orders of magnitude faster, and like in fact even more for some of the other data sets. So it's quite fast. And just to show like AUC versus time, so it's like this is a log scale of the x-axis for time, so 10, 100,000, and this is the AUC, so it's like quite up to 2 to 3 orders of magnitude faster, and at the same time quite accurate. Scalability, so these are different scalability plots with respect to number of records, number of dimensions, number of hash functions, and we see MStream is scalable. Also, this is running time for processing one record, and so we see like within less than 10 microseconds we can process like these many thousands of records, and it's quite fast overall. Discoveries, so like we plot the normalized anomaly scores over time for all the baselines and the methods, and we visualize like for visualizing, we aggregate the records occurring in each minute by taking the maximum of the anomaly score for that minute, and this is done for a total around 565 minutes, and the ground truths are indicated by a y equal to 0 and y equal to 1 as the anomaly. So look, LOF and Densalert, they miss a lot of anomalies, whereas elliptic envelope, isolation forest, and random cut forest output many high scores which are not related to any attacks. So this G, which you see on the MStream graph, that is a group anomaly which MStream is able to detect, but elliptic envelope, local outlier factor, and isolation forest completely miss it. Densalert and RCF, they partially catch it, but they're also not fully effective in high dimensional datasets. So also, MStream estimates feature-specific anomaly scores before aggregating them. If you remember the feature hash which we had discussed previously. So for a given anomaly, we can rank these features according to their anomaly scores, and then we can explain which features were most responsible for the anomalousness of a record. So this we can do in an unsupervised setting because MStream works in an unsupervised manner. And MStream actually, it found that this E is an anomaly which occurred due to a particular feature like flow IIT min, and this agreed with the results which were found using supervised learning methods. So we could like it's kind of explainable what was the anomaly due to. Future work, so we can incorporate semi-supervision within these methods, because like you can say which record is definitely anomalous, which is definitely not anomalous in a network setting. So that can be quite useful. How do you kind of incorporate that kind of feedback? And then can you kind of have an initial training and using like some kind of a deep learning method with some initial labels, and how can you kind of incorporate like some ground truth information, and then finally generating anomalous data, because most of these anomaly detection problems, one like they suffer from lack of training data. So can you generate anomalous data? So that is kind of an interesting question which can be further explored. Just to conclude, so we do multi-aspect group anomaly detection with both categorical and numeric attributes. Our approach is streaming, that is constant memory and update time, and it's quite effective with like different results, and we also capture the correlation between different features. So this is the citation, and this is the archive link of the paper, and this is the GitHub repository. So feel free to go check it out, and if you have any questions, I'll be attending the conference, so just feel free to let me know. Thank you.